Next up, design to development handoff. After having put in so much effort into the form and function of your app, it is imperative that this vision is properly realized by your development team. It always amazes me how often this step in the mobile app development process goes poorly. Perhaps this is due to many organizations and agencies only providing design or development services. Or sometimes the relationship between the design and the development team is combative. Whatever the reason, I highly recommend finding a team that can provide both design and development services and can properly handle this step in the process. Part of what helps to ensure a smooth transition and exact implementation is the proper use of the available tools. We like using an application called Zeppelin, which helps developers quickly grab style guides for design. But this is not foolproof either. Zeppelin is a great tool, but sometimes its guides are not exact and not the best implementation. It can use explicit dimensions rather than dynamic ones, for example. In those solutions, it is immensely beneficial if your developers can also use design applications such as Sketch or Photoshop. The important thing here is that your team does not simply best guess the dimensions, hex values, colors, and positioning. Your design team put in tremendous effort to ensure things were properly aligned and positioned. Your development team's goal should be a pixel-perfect implementation. Recommended tool, Zeppelin. Next, high-level technical design, also known as tech stack. There are numerous approaches, technologies, and programming languages that can be used to build a mobile app, each with its own strengths and shortcomings. Some might be cheaper to use, but are less performant, whereas others might take longer to implement and can be a complete overkill. The worst possibility is building on a dying or unreliable technology stack. If you make this mistake, you might have to rebuild your entire app or pay a premium for developers moving forward. That is why having a trusted development partner that is seasoned in making these decisions is vital in this process. Front-end development, the mobile app. For front-end development, there are basically three approaches: platform-specific native approach, cross-platform native, and hybrid. And here is a brief overview of each one of these approaches and some articles that delve deep with greater details. So let's talk about platform-specific native. Apps built with this approach are written separately for each mobile platform. Code can't be reused between Android and iOS, but these apps can be fully optimized for each platform. The UI can look entirely native, so it will fit with the OS, and the apps should work fluidly. This is the most expensive approach, but it is very tried and tested. Next, cross-platform native. Apps built with this approach have some or entirely shared code, but that can run natively. Common technologies used for these approach are React Native, Xamarin, and Native Script. This is a niche middle ground between the various approaches in that it is more cost-effective but can still be optimized and styled for each platform. Next approach is hybrid. Hybrid apps are built using web technologies, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and are installed via a native wrapper. This can be done using technologies such as Cordova, PhoneGap, and Ionic. This option can be the cheapest, but also presents very real difficulties. Now, let's talk about backend, the web API, and server. The technologies used here are similar to those used to power web-based applications. Here are a few things you have to decide. before writing code. Number one, language. There are dozens of languages that can be used to build your app. Common languages are Java, C++, Golang, JavaScript, PHP, and Python. Most languages also have numerous frameworks that can be utilized. Next up, database. There are two main types of modern databases, SQL and NoSQL. SQL is a more traditional and best choice in almost all cases. Common SQL implementations, they include MS SQL, MySQL, and PostgreSQL SQL. In addition to selecting a database engine, you have to design your particular database scheme. Having reliable and well-organized data is crucial to your long-term success, so make sure this is well thought out. Now you have to decide the hosting environment, also called as the infrastructure. In this step, you need to decide where and how your API and database will be hosted. Decisions made here will directly impact the hosting cost, scalability, performance, and reliability of your application. Common hosting providers, they include Amazon AWS and Rackspace. Beyond picking a provider, you also need to plan how your system will scale as your user base grows. Cloud-based solutions allow you to pay for resources as a utility and scale up and down as needed. They also help with database backups, server uptime, and operating system updates. All right, you're doing good so far. You made it.